Ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally arrived. Our first spring training games begin today, which means spring is officially here. As I look out my window and see there's snow on the ground. How convenient. Alright, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to the conclusion of Dugout Talk's division breakdowns for the 2023 season. We thank you for your support with the viewership and subscriptions as we prepare for the upcoming season. If you haven't watched any of our past videos, you'll figure out the flow as we go, so let's just jump into the video. Up first, we have the division champion Los Angeles Dodgers, who also had the best record in all of baseball with a 111-51 record. Last year, it looked like the Dodgers were finally going to win a World Series in a 162-game season until their division rival Padres ruined the season with a 3-1 NLDS upset. To say the least, it was laughable, and the Dodgers wasted their season with that embarrassment. Looking at the offense, though, it's the Dodgers, so it looks good. Yeah, they lost Trey Turner and Justin Turner to free agency. They let Cody Bellinger walk. The lineup doesn't look as dangerous as they have in years past, but the offense is still one of the better ones in baseball. They've got heavy power hitters in Max Muncy, JD Martinez, and Freddie Freeman. Freeman, I fully expect will show off more power this season than he did last year. I think he's just going to have a big breakout year, even bigger than his MVP year in 2020 with the Braves. They have a ton of depth as well, so this team is set. Even though it just kind of looks more like an early 2010s or mid 2010s lineup, kind of their early reign of terror days, but it's still a good lineup. Pitching wise, they're going to be without Walker Buehler this season, but no matter because again, they have the depth to make up for his absence. Tony Gonsolin had a breakout year last season. Dustin May should be pitching his first full season out of the rotation. And behind Kershaw, you got two aces in Julio Urias and Noah Syndergaard who can make this a three-headed monster down the stretch. It's a good rotation, period. Bullpen wise, it's full of a lot of names the average fan probably isn't familiar with, but because this is the Dodgers we're talking about, get to know their names because LA knows how to get the best out of their arms. Evan Phillips will likely be the closer either until Alex Reyes returns from injury, he struggles down the stretch and they need someone new, or he just takes over closing duties. One of the three will happen, but even then, the Dodgers have depth to use anyone in the ninth if they want. In summary, you just can't count the Dodgers out. They've won 9 division titles in 10 years. This team is still the best in the West until someone proves it otherwise, and that has to be in the regular season, not postseason. Up next, we have the San Diego Padres, who finished 89 and 73 last year and made it to their first NLCS since 1998. The Padres look like they're going to be contending for the next few years at least, and they continue to spend money to bring in outside big name help to get them to their goal of a World Series title. Offensively, I think even without Fernando Tatis for the first 20 games, it's still better than the Dodgers by a slim margin, but I think these two clubs are going to be fighting all year for the division anyway. Manny Machado and Juan Soto should be MVP candidates, and they can easily get solid production out of guys like Xander Bogaerts, Nelson Cruz, and Jake Cronenworth. The Padres' offense is loaded, and when they're all clicking, look out because this team is going to score runs in bunches, and they're gonna make pitchers hurt. Pitching wise, I do think LA has the advantage ever so slightly. Joe Musgrove is by far the best pitcher in this rotation. Yu Darvish and Blake Snell can be good, but they've been inconsistent at times. But what's interesting to me is Nick Martinez may actually make the rotation. And I only say this because he's on Team USA in the WBC. He's listed as a starting pitcher, and I think the Padres are going to give him a chance to make the rotation. Because their 4 through 5 rotation spots, they're going to be up for grabs this spring. Whoever pitches the best is going to earn those 2 spots. Bullpen wise, it's really good. Josh Hader's in a contract year. He should be the closer this year. They have guys that are durable in Tim Hill, Luis Garcia, and Robert Suarez as well. And really, it's just a solid pen. I think they're going to help them win the tight games, and winning those tight games is going to help boost their momentum. In summary, the Padres absolutely can win the West this year. The offense is fantastic. The pitching has depth. Bob Melvin can move arms wherever he wants, really, if he needs to. I think they're poised to make a run at dethroning LA this year. I really do. Up next, we have the San Francisco Giants, who finished 500 in a season after winning 107 games and winning the Western Division. The Giants bolstered the lineup this offseason, but they did lose out on Carlos Correa, who would have been a huge upgrade to the additions of Michael Conforto and Mitch Haniger, most notably. Had they been able to lock him up, this would have arguably been the best lineup in the division. Speaking of the lineup, I think this lineup has potential to be really great. Right now, it's good if everyone's healthy, but it has potential. They have a lot of injury-prone guys as well as streaky guys, and I think it is going to show during the year. However, Thairo Estrada is a guy I expect to have a breakout year at the plate. If this guy plays, he will produce at the plate, period. I mean, he was pretty solid in 140 games for them last year, put him in a whole 162. He's going to be just a very quietly good bat. Rotation wise, it's average. It's nothing impressive, but behind Logan Webb, they still have established veterans when healthy who can consistently go 6 innings and keep the bullpen from getting taxed. But the key word is healthy. Pretty much Cobb, Mania, DeSclafani, and Wood all have had injury issues in their careers. So a healthy rotation will help them, but if it's not healthy, they're going to be in trouble. Bullpen wise, I think it is better than the rotation. Nothing fancy. They're durable, which will help them down the stretch as long as the rotation and stays healthy. But the rotation has to be healthy again. Otherwise, if this bullpen is taxed, they're not going to be very good. In summary, they're well balanced. They have potential to do what they did in 2021 again. They have a lot of competition in the division to face, though, so it won't be easy to get on top or even get a wild card spot for that matter. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. They can absolutely do it. Up next, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who finished 74 and 88 a year after winning only 52 games. The Diamondbacks are bringing in the farm to play this year, and quite frankly, it's going to be fun to watch, especially if everyone performs to expectations. I mean, they were fun to watch last year, even though we didn't see the full potential of everybody. Offensively, it's a lineup that can be sneaky good. Corbin Carroll is an early NL Rookie of the Year favorite, and it looks like the Diamondbacks are going to play him just about every day as long as he's performing well, so we'll see how it goes. If guys like Gatel Marte, Carson Kelly, and Nick Ahmed can all stay healthy this year too, they'll help boost this lineup immensely. And plus, they have depth in the minors, which I will continue to say is great to have if injuries start to amount. And just for the late run stretches in the season, having that depth there is unreplaceable. Rotation wise, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly were top arms last year. Gallen realistically could win the Cy Young this year if he replicates what he did last season. I do think the team has to have a short leash on Madison Bumgarner, though, because he will drag the team down if he keeps struggling like he has. Straightforward, that contract has not worked out for the team. Good news though, the Diamondbacks have a lot of young arms ready to go too. So if Bumgarner starts to struggle early, they can easily go down to Reno and go get somebody to replace him. Bullpen wise, right now it's an average pen. I think the closer's role is definitely up for grabs. It has to perform well if this team is going to compete, though. Historically, when the Diamondbacks have a good bullpen, they usually make it to October baseball or they're right there in contention. So have a good pen, team has a chance. In summary, the Diamondbacks absolutely can play spoiler in 2023. The road to get there is going to require everyone to play to their abilities, though, and the depth in the farm will help them out if they start having injury issues along the way. It could be a good thing, though. Let those young guys get close to a full season in, let them get the growing pains out of the way and get the job done. And lastly, we have the Colorado Rockies, who finished last with a 68-94 record last year. Honestly, the Rockies did about what was expected of them. They didn't really get a full Chris Bryant. He only played 42 games last season in that 8-year contract, in the first year of the 8-year contract he signed. Really, the Rockies are just kind of here to play at this point. It's like it was that way last year. It's that way this year too. Offensively, I mean, the lineup will score runs. They do need CJ Crone and Ryan McMahon to perform all year long, though, if they're going to have any kind of consistency. They have some young bats to look forward to, though, in Nolan Jones, who they got from the Guardians, Ezekiel Tovar, Sean Picard, and Michael Tolia. But again, those guys aren't going to carry the team in their first full seasons. So the veterans have to be consistent to at least give this lineup a chance. Pitching wise, I mean, we'll see. It's not that good, though Kyle Freeland and Herman Marquez are capable of being strong one and twos. I don't really know about the rotation, though. I don't know how it's going to line up. It was really quite surprising how Herman Marquez just fell off a cliff last year. Kyle Freeland hasn't been able to maintain the 2018 success. I think Ryan Feltner and Connor Siebold are early favorites for the rotation, though. I don't see why they are not going to get opportunities to pitch this year for most of it, if not all. Bullpen wise, it's capable of being good if they can not implode at Coors Field. Daniel Bard is a top 10 closer, but outside of that, how these guys perform is going to be the real question. I know pitching at Coors Field is really hard. It's the hitter friendliest ballpark in all of baseball. But if you look at their 2017 and 2018 playoff years, the bullpen and pitching staff figured out a way to pitch at home. So there's an effective way to do it. They just got to figure out how to do it. In summary, the Rockies are pretty much the same team as last year, though. I expect them to do about the same as last year. The lineup's going to score runs. Pitching's going to give up runs in return. There's not really a whole lot else to say. And now for the division predictions. The Dodgers are still the best team in the West until someone shows otherwise. I can't pick against them anymore. LA's going to find a way to win because they're the Dodgers and they always find a way in the regular season. Yeah, I don't think they're running away with the division like they have in the last decade, but I trust them to win their 10th division title in 11 years. I think the Padres will make the Dodgers fight for the division, however. I think they're going to be the top wild card seed in the National League at the absolute worst. Padres are going to be good for a while, and I think they can win the division, don't get me wrong. But winning those tight games down the stretch, beating the Dodgers in the regular season is, yeah, they have to do that. Otherwise, they're not going to do much. I think a third place finish for Arizona is more than realistic, especially with the rookies coming up. While I also wouldn't be surprised to see them struggle, I think between them, the Giants, and Rockies, they are the better team. Not finishing third would be kind of disappointing, but at the same time, it's a young team. You can't really to expect them to just carry the club and perform fantastic all year is kind of unrealistic. I have the Giants getting fourth personally, and it's only because the team it has potential, but it could easily fall on their face very quickly. Like they're either going to overachieve and win the division, or it's going to all fall apart. Granted, I do think Gabe Kapler has something working better in San Francisco than he did in Philly. So who knows? Maybe he finds that 2021 magic again, but I just don't see the Giants being that impressive this year. And Rockies getting last place. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. I'm sorry to the fans; they're brutal to watch. They're gonna have a good April probably, and then they're gonna struggle down the stretch. That's just really the only way to put it. All right, thank you for watching the video today as we conclude our division breakdowns. Tomorrow is the first day of spring training games for almost every team, and we hope you all enjoy the games. We wish every team good luck this season, and we will be back with more content during spring training, so be on the lookout on our YouTube channel and SoundCloud channel for future podcasts. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.